Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, welcome to the month of June. We're glad you all could be with us on the first hump day of the new month. But of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this Wednesday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with author Paulette Harper discussing the newest anthology, The Breaking Point. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Wednesday headlines. In national news, very angry, Uvalde locals grapple with school chief's role. The blame for an excruciating delay in killing the gunman at a Texas elementary school, even as parents outside begged police to rush in and panicked children called 911 from inside, has been placed with the school district's homegrown police chief. It's left residents in the small city of Uvalde struggling to reconcile what they know of the well-liked local lawman after the director of state police said that the commander at the scene made the wrong decision last week not to breach a classroom at Robb Elementary School sooner, believing the gunman was barricaded inside and children weren't at risk. Stephen McGraw, the head of the Texas Department of Public Safety, said at the Friday news conference that after following the gunman into the building, officers waited over an hour to breach the classroom. 19 children and 2 teachers were killed in the shooting. The chief in charge, who grew up in Uvalde and graduated from high school there, was set to be sworn in on Tuesday to his new spot on the city council after being elected earlier this month. But the mayor said in a statement on Monday that the meeting wouldn't happen. It wasn't immediately clear whether swearing in would happen privately or at a later date. The 50-year-old has spent much of a nearly 30-year career in law enforcement in Uvalde, returning in 2020 to take the head police job at the school district. Another woman in the neighborhood where he grew up began sobbing when asked about him. The woman, who didn't want to give her name, said one of her granddaughters was at the school during the shooting but wasn't hurt. McGraw said Friday that minutes after the gunman entered the school, city police officers entered through the same door. Over the course of more than an hour, law enforcement from multiple agencies arrived on the scene. Finally, officials said a U.S. Border Patrol tactical team used a janitor's key to unlock the classroom door and killed the gunman. McGraw said that students and teachers had repeatedly begged 911 operators for help, while the chief told more than a dozen officers to wait in the hallway. That directive, which goes against established active shooter protocols, prompted questions about whether more lives were lost because officers didn't act faster. In more national news, experts say everything points to another busy hurricane season. Batten down the hatches for another nasty hurricane season. Nearly every natural force and a bunch of human-caused ones, more than just climate change, have turned the last several Atlantic hurricane seasons into deadly and expensive whoppers. The season that starts today looks like another note in a record-breaking refrain because all those ingredients for disaster are still going strong, experts warn. They say these factors point to, but don't quite promise, more trouble ahead. The natural climate event La Niña, human-caused climate change, warmer ocean waters, the Gulf of Mexico's deep hot loop current, increased storminess in Africa, cleaner skies, a multi-decade active storm cycle, and massive deployment of property along the coast. It's everything in the kitchen sink, says the Colorado State University hurricane researcher. In the past 2 years, forecasters ran out of names for storms. It's been a costly rogues gallery of major hurricanes with winds of up to 111 miles per hour striking land in the past 5 years. In more national news, rising U.S. traffic deaths put focus on one Philadelphia road. Just one more step and the stroller would have been on the curb. The thought haunts LaTonya Bird years after a driver racing down Roosevelt Boulevard in Philadelphia struck and killed her 27-year-old niece and 3 of Banks' young sons as they crossed the 12-lane road. Today, many of the conditions that led to the fatal 2013 crash still exist. Since the crash, Bird became an advocate for safer streets, fighting to get automatic speed cameras placed along the boulevard where 10% to 13% of the city traffic fatalities happen each year, prior to the coronavirus pandemic. And now, amid a national surge in traffic fatalities that federal officials have called a crisis and studies showing black communities have been hit even harder than the pandemic, plans to redesign the city's corridor of death, as some residents and safety advocates call Roosevelt, could be gaining traction. In business news, Biden plots inflation fight with Fed chair as nation worries. Focused on relentlessly rising prices, President Joe Biden plotted an inflation-fighting strategy Tuesday with the chairman of the Federal Reserve, with the fate of the economy and his own political prospects increasingly dependent on the actions of the government's central bank. Biden hopes to demonstrate to voters that he was attuned to their worries about higher gasoline, grocery, and other prices, while still insisting an independent Fed will act free from political pressure. And finally, in more business news, stocks slip on Wall Street as messy May comes to a close. Stocks closed lower Tuesday, and the market eked out a tiny gain for May, a fitting end to a tumultuous month as worries about a possible recession, inflation, and rising interest rates bruised Wall Street. The S&P 500 fell 0.6%, having recouped about half of its loss from earlier in the day. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, it's all yours.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Your spiritual path is a private journey. Just as your life journey is your private journey, so is your personal spiritual path toward awakening. Your spiritual path leads you to a greater understanding of yourself. Your inner guidance, your knowings, lead you as they are your connection to your higher power, or God. These knowings lead you to open the right door at the right time. You understand this is the right path for you as you listen to your wonderful feelings created by your choice. Your passion is always found by asking yourself, what do I love to do? Or what do I enjoy doing? As you awaken to the life you are passionate about living, you become peaceful, happy, and confident. Today, become awake, connected, totally conscious, aware, and alive as you begin to walk on your private spiritual path. And as always, enjoy the day.
We are part of my conversation coming up with author Paulette Harper in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us, you're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Author Paulette Harper joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about her brand new anthology, Breaking Point, and what it's been like to inspire others. Is a bit of our conversation.
This year is flying by, and we know you have more work that is coming up. But already this year, you have released the anthology, The Breaking Point. So let's start there. What has it been like for you to see, Paulette, how individuals are being inspired by these life stories?
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been a tremendous blessing. I have been, watching the authors just really grow and just really come into their own as far as, taking ownership of this book. And so, getting feedback from them, because it's really, for me, it's really about making sure that the authors are having the best experience that they could possibly have, and showing them what the capabilities or what the abilities are and all the opportunities that come with being a co-author. So the feedback has been great. It has just, given me, a great joy to hear the feedback from the authors and how they're taking it and what they're doing with the book, and how the book is just really inspiring and empowering and just being a motivator to those who are, reading these stories, because they're all about transforming the lives of readers. Cyrus
Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversation Daily News. Prepare to get on tomorrow's more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversation Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.